jams where Flash and them was at, but
the birthplace of hip hop, because this is something very few people get information about, and you were there, you know, Herc, Bambaataa, Flash, Jazzy J. Talk about that, just living in that time, you know what I'm saying, and the era of the DJ back then.
Well, for me, I was a little kid back then, 10, 11, 12. So I really wasn't at the jams where Flash and them was at, but I was young enough where, we used the cassette tapes, the Cold Crush 4 tapes, the Furious 5 tapes, Treacherous 3 tapes, so back then, the cassette tape was king, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is the time period where it was just a lamppost and the 2 turntables and the microphone. This is at that stage, so I was able to see it from there to where it is now, basically.
Right. And you started with your uncle.
As far as what it was like, South Bronx in the late 70s, a lot of gangs and shit, but at the jams, it really wasn't too many problems at the jams, because that was the whole purpose of Bambaataa bringing the culture together, to stop niggas from killing themselves, things of that nature. So yeah.
And you started collecting records at 11, right? Your uncle Gary and Kevin pretty much got you into that whole thing. That's crazy.
That's correct.
What made you so young, like just at 11 years old, like gravitate to the DJ aspect and want to start collecting records yourself?
Hard to say, but I would say, possibly just going to the jams and just watching the DJs find these records with these little drum parts on them. Like, the break beat, I was just fascinated by that shit. Just the concept of just finding records with drum beats on them. And, as a kid, I just became obsessed with that shit. And I just, naturally just started trying to get my own collection.
How'd you get into actually from going to, hearing these break beats on these records to actually going out and getting some equipment, saying, okay, I'm going to start really hammering down and start to produce? How did you get into that?
Basically, back then, if I had if I had 2 turntables and my man had a mixer, then we would come together. It was like that back then. Like, if you had a piece of equipment and niggas or a crew needed it, they would put you down. So that's how it was back then. Not too many people, at least my age, 10, 11, 12, had their own equipment. A lot of the older cats, they came up in the blackout of '77, so they were already situated. But as far as my age bracket, it, like I said, if you had a piece of equipment that brothers needed, they would put you down with the crew.